Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Veda and this is The Simple Budget. Here on my channel I show you how my family is using the zero-based budgeting method in order to get out of debt and simplify our financial life. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join our little crew here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. All right, well, hello everyone and happy bonus content Wednesday. Today's video is going to be the March budget with me, which is so exciting. I'm just glad that we're in March. We are coming into some warmer weather. Well, here in Texas we are, which I'm grateful for. I love our 100-degree days. I'm not one of these people who is offended by it. So, the closer we get to those days, the happier I am. Just really quickly, because, these are topics of conversation here on my channel, if you do happen to be new. I updated my little flowers here. This is still sea lavender. I can't remember who asked me last time. It was either Sherry or Lucinda. But they asked what this plant was, and Trader Joe's sells it. It's sea lavender, and so far I've seen it in this sweet little peachy color, which is what I've had on my channel for the last month. And then this beautiful little purpley lilac color. I hope it's kind of coming off. It's really not. And then, in the purple theme, my nails. I updated my mani this morning. This is also that brand of nail polish that I always talk about by that YouTuber. It used to be called KL Polish. It is now Light Lacquer. This is a KL Polish color though. It's called Unfortunate Souls. I was making a point. Oh yeah. So I don't know if she still makes this one. It's a really pretty eggplanty purpley color. I don't know if she still makes this version though, but I will try to find the closest dupe that I can on her website, on her Lights Lacquer website. I've explained the brand name switch and all that kind of stuff before on my channel. I don't feel the need to get into it every single time I talk about her polish, but predominantly hers is the polish that I use. The quality is really high. It dries really fast. It lasts really long. As far as a manicure is concerned, I don't do anything fancy. I don't have a gel light or anything like that. I just paint 3 coats, put a top coat on and keep it moving. So, considering that it doesn't it takes a while for it to chip and get damaged. Anyways, if I can find a color dupe, I will leave it linked below for you guys. So as I mentioned, we're going to do the March budget with me. And given that I am unemployed currently, it's sort of convenient that it happened to land on a month that was magic month. So if you're new to the budgeting world, a magic month is when you get an extra pay in that particular month. So if you're paid weekly or biweekly, it's a week or it's a month then where you would get paid either 5 paychecks instead of 4 or 3 paychecks instead of 2. And my husband is a salaried employee, and so he gets 3 paychecks instead of 2. And it does mean that we are not going to be able to use all of the magic month pay in order to do the fun things that we like to do with our magic month money. But it does mean that it is kind of covering the fact that I don't have a paycheck or a planned pay date in mind. If you happen to miss my cash stuffing on Monday, I did get another job. I just don't have a start date yet. It's a small business and they're kind of working out their budget and all of that sort of stuff before they bring me on. I'll be getting around the same hours that I had at my last job though. I just don't know what my pay is going to be. I'm not as finicky about my pay. Not that I, don't recognize my value or what I bring to the table or anything like that, but I'm very fortunately, mostly supported. Our house is supported by my husband's job. And so I can take a hit as far as my pay is concerned. Plus I have always wanted to work for this business, since the beginning of time. Well, not the beginning of time, but, I've wanted to work for them actually before I got my last job. So, I'm willing to take a pay cut or whatever, just to be there. And I'm very happy to do that. The company is a really good quality company. The owners are fantastic. And anyways, but what that does mean is that this budget doesn't include any kind of planned pay for me. If I do start making money in the month of March, which I anticipate that I will, we will go ahead and plug in some of the not discrepancies, but like the areas that we're not able to throw as much money toward. We will be doing that with whatever pay I do bring in for the month of March. And plus also we ended up deciding, this is like completely not relevant to a budget with me at all, but we finally booked family photos. We haven't had family photos done since my daughter was 2. She just turned 9. So one of our lovely neighbors is an amazing photographer. And we kind of had been chatting about doing this for a while. And she, was like, well, let's book a date. And she's always super busy. And so it wasn't like something that we could plan for. Like, I couldn't say to her, I could have, well, I got to save up and budget for this, so it's going to take a while. She charges a $250 fee. And I was like, whatever extra money I make in March, since we've already got our March budget established, let's just take my paycheck and put it toward the $250 fee. And then, take the overage beyond that and fill in the areas that we would have wanted to fill in our budget, after that. That was like a really rambly story, but I'm also just really excited we're getting family photos taken. We haven't done that in a while. Anyways, goodness, I can really go off on a tangent, can I? Let's go ahead and hop into my budget planner here. So this binder is from a company called Jumping Fox Designs. I will go ahead and leave the binder linked below, and it houses the budget planner that I created, which is in my Etsy shop, which is also linked below. So these are my teller slips. They are also available. I'll be getting my shipment in of these soon. The shipment was delayed, which threw off some of my shipment dates, but it's fine. I'm fine. It's coming in. Okay, so you'll see here, I'm going to grab a couple sheets so that I have like a smooth surface to write on. But you'll see here with the month of March, so my husband gets paid every 2 weeks. So he's going to be paid this month on the 1st, 15th, and 29th. So, excuse me. And then what we're also doing, which I'll get into more, we are supplementing his pay a little bit. Like a teeny tiny bit. We're supplementing our budget with my YouTube pay this month, which we never do. Usually my YouTube pay and my Etsy pay are like extras, and we use those. We do pay down debt with them. So if you're not familiar, here on my channel, like I said in my intro, we use this zero-based budgeting method in order to pay down our debt. And we started 2023 with like almost $59,000 of debt. And we are due to pay off our debt this year. So we have always, since I started earning Etsy and YouTube money, we have taken 10% off the top, and that helps to pay down our debt. But this month we're using the YouTube pay to kind of just like fill in some little gaps in our March budget. And so I will go ahead and get into that. I am going to zoom you guys in so that you can see a little bit better. And so I'm going to do that now, and then we'll get into the budget. Okay, so here we are. So usually how I would have broken this down in the past with my income sources is my husband's pay just is on one line because, again, he's salaried and his pay never changes. I earn an hourly wage, and so we would break down my pay here by paycheck by projected, like what we kind of were able to figure out would come in. But since I'm not earning an income, we're just going to put my YouTube pay down here, and that's also sort of projected as well because we're not really 100% sure, but I'll just get into it. So for the entirety of the month of March, my husband is going to be bringing in $12,736.56. And then my YouTube pay, we are projecting about $270. This is after tax. So we scrape the tax money off the top, and we put it in our taxes envelope. If you've watched any of my Etsy and YouTube stuffings, you see the ginormous number that taxes gets from each of those pays, because it is untaxed income. So this is what we're projecting after taxes. And actually, I'm just going to address this was hilarious to me. Somebody said in the comments recently, I will never understand somebody who needs to budget, or people who earn $10,000 in a month needing to budget. And I mean, obviously the rest of my video will explain why, but I don't understand. Like, I understand that's a lot of money to be working with every month, but you still have to come up with a plan for your money. If you don't, whether you earn $2,000 a month or $10,000 a month, if you don't plan where your money is going, it will disappear and you will have no idea where it has gone. Budgeting is a good practice no matter how much money you make. In fact, I think some of the wealthiest people have, I don't want to say like a miserly attitude about their money, but they know where it is and they know where it's going. They're not cavalier about it. So, yeah, I would encourage, if that's your mentality with money, to change it. You have to have a plan for your money. We are living, breathing examples of what happens when you don't watch your money carefully. We acquired $58,000 of debt without even really thinking about it. So anyways, I'm going to hop down off of my pedestal now and get into this. So, I need my calculator. So what this means is, so we've got $12,736.56 plus $270. And so that is $13,006.56. And so this is the money that we are working with for the month of March. We do what's called zero-based budgeting. So if you are unfamiliar with that terminology, what that means is that we come up with a plan for every cent, basically, not even just every dollar, but every cent. The money, or I'm sorry, the cents, whatever change we end up having rolls into debt. We literally will pay, like, if there's like 23 cents left over or whatever, after we get through bills and expenses, we will roll that 23 cents right on over into our debt payment, because every penny counts. But yes, so what we do first with this money is we obviously have to plan for bills and expenses first. Those are the highest priority things in your life: where you live, what you eat, your electricity, all of those things. And then we make up a plan for our sinking funds. So these are things like expenses that are going to come up throughout the year, but not necessarily every single month. And then we do have a goal number in mind every month for what we want to put toward our debt. But we do make sure that we fund our sinking funds as well. And then we have little investment accounts for our kiddos too. So we do give $50 a month toward that. All of that is staying the same. We still have an aggressive debt payoff goal this month, or pay down goal this month. We still have sinking fund goals for this month. And we're still going to be investing in our kids' investment accounts. All the numbers are going to look different to what they usually look like. So let's just jump in, and we will start off with our bills and expenses. Our mortgage is up first, as per usual. You got to pay for where you live. And the total is $2,489.33. Next up is our water bill, and Mr. Simple informed me this month that I can give it a little bit less than what I had been giving it, because we are 2 months ahead on our water bill. So, excuse me, we just take whatever rollover their money is every single month and track that. Because it doesn't hurt to have a buffer in some of these accounts, or some of these categories. So I'm just budgeting $100 for it this month, and then he will fill in whatever gap there may be with the rollover that we already have in there. So this is a nice way of doing your budgeting. I know a lot of people will take leftover money and put them towards savings challenges and stuff like that. And in fact, I've seen this question recently in my comments, asking, she was basically saying, I only have $20 left over to put in a savings challenge. We don't do that either. You'll see on my channel when I do cash stuffing, The only savings challenge that we do is the $1 savings challenge. And that's just change, $1 bills that I get back as change from cash transactions. And I save those ones. And it's like $48 a quarter, like somewhere between $48 and $50 a quarter. Is what we end up saving in dollar bills, but that's it. All of the other money that we have goes toward our debt and toward our lifestyle. So we don't take like the rollover that we may have from month to month in some of our bills money. That just serves as a buffer for that particular account. And I say account, no, for that particular category. And I would encourage you to do the same. If you're like, if you're like everybody in America, you have some sort of housing that you're paying for and bills like utilities, all of those sorts of things. And so if you have budgeted $130, say, for water, and your water bill comes in and it's like $98, just keep that extra money in there and let that roll over from month to month, because it will help to serve as a mini emergency buffer in the event that you encounter a situation like my husband and I, where our planned income is fluctuating this month, or maybe you didn't make as much one month, like one paycheck or something, and you're like, shoot, how am I going to pay the water bill? Well, if you allow those months where you have some rollover to just keep rolling over instead of putting it into a savings challenge. It's all the same, right? Like you can pull from the savings challenges to facilitate this, but rather than having to switch money around constantly, like from savings challenge back into our bills and expenses, we just allow that money to roll over in our checking account from month to month, so that for months like this, where we do have situations where it's like, oh shoot, okay, Veda isn't bringing in a paycheck this month. How are we going to handle that? This is one of those months where we've been able to really benefit by the fact that we've got some rollover in some of our sinking funds. So anyways, we're only 2 categories in, guys. Here we go. So life insurance is up next. And this one is the same every single month. We don't throw extra at it. It's $42.06. Then we have car insurance, and this one fluctuates a little bit. So we've lately just been putting like solid numbers at it, so that, if there is some rollover, then, we can either save that as a buffer or use it in the event of like an emergency. And that's sort of what happened. Just like the water bill, we've had enough rollover so that we're just going to budget $100 this month, and then we will pull from our rollover from water and car insurance in order to meet the bill requirement, if that makes sense. Jiu-jitsu, this is for my husband and son. Whoops, I always struggle to spell it. It costs $187.38 every single month for them to train jiu-jitsu. Internet never changes, and so we never build in a buffer for this one. It's $55.58. Our phone bill, we throw the same dollar amount at it every single month, $115. Actually, I think I've been giving it like $120 lately, but we knocked it down a few dollars because we have a little bit of a buffer in our phone category as well. Our electric bill, however, we had to over budget this month, $230, because heat is expensive. And we used our heat. We had some pretty cold days in January and early February. So, and actually late December too, I want to say. And so we have to over budget to compensate for that, because we did eat into our rollover for this one. Oh shoot, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I was wondering where. Okay, so groceries is up next. And this one, it's $2,700, but before you lose your mind, remember that it's a magic month, and my husband's last pay of March has to last us into the first 2 weeks of April. And so we give groceries this amount of money because the last pay of March has to cover the grocery bill for the first 2 weeks of April, if that makes sense, before he gets paid. Like, he gets paid the second week in April, and so we need to make sure that we have grocery money leading into that. And so that's what this does. So we don't spend $2,700. I mean, our grocery bill is expensive, but we don't spend $2,700 in 1 month for groceries. We just have to account for the grocery expenses for the first 2 weeks of April in March. Sometimes it's just how you have to work out your budget. Next up is gas. This is gas for our car, and it's getting $150 this month. If you've never heard of this app called Upside, my referral link for it is below. You get cash back with every gas purchase, so long as you're going to a gas station that the app supports. I really like this one. You can actually get cash back. I think you can also get gift cards. I'm not 100% sure, but we just get the cash, and then we use it to either buffer up our gas category in our budget, or like if we feel like we're shy, like in groceries or something like that, we'll do that as well. But it's a really good one. I love this one. And so if you are interested, my referral link for it is below. If you use my referral code, I will get bonus cash, but you will also get bonus cash off of your first gasoline purchase. But I just want to make you aware of that before you use my code. Household is up next. Actually, household and toiletries are getting the same amount, so I'll just write them down together. Because these categories are reasonably stuffed right now, we are giving it a little bit less, again, just to kind of cover for the fact that I am not earning pay right now for the month of March. So we're going to be putting $60 towards each of them. Subscriptions, which my husband and I are about to change up here, but for now our subscriptions cost us $64.75 a month. This includes like Netflix, HBO Max, Apple Music, that kind of stuff. And pest control, we do get pest control quarterly. They come out to our house and spray for the evil things that are trying to suck my brains out, because the state of Texas has all of the scary bugs here. Anyways, pest control is $43 a month, but they only come and charge us quarterly, but we treat it like a sinking fund. So we make sure that $43 is earmarked every single month for it. Taxes, this funds the person who does our taxes for us, and we pay $30 a month for that. And I have to call her today after I'm done filming this. So that's on my agenda. Our HOA is up next, and it's $17 a month so that we can pay it once a year. We pay usually like in January, and it's close to $200. Finance coach. And this one is, I get asked this question all the time, and if I will give away the source of my finance coach. This is a subscription service, sort of. So it's a subscription service that we pay to a guy who watches the stock markets and makes recommendations for where to move your retirement funds. The reason why I don't link this or give the information out is because it's job specific to my husband. So it's not something that's like, that can be like every American can benefit from this. If it was, I would absolutely be sharing this information with you. I am not a gatekeeper. I want everybody to have financial freedom and build wealth and all of those things. But I don't share it because it is job specific. So it's not something that everybody would be able to take advantage of. And so that's why I don't share it. I get asked that question from time to time. So I just like to address it whenever we're talking about the budget. Union dues. This is also for my husband's job. And it's $15 a month to make sure that we can pay it annually, and it's due in like October sometime. These next two are not like high priority bills and expenses. I just put them over here because I don't have space for them over in my sinking fund section. So we have a pool membership, and we give that one $32 a month. And then this month, because it's a magic month, we are giving vacation $400. So we had wanted to give it a little bit more, but we're still able to do this, which we're very, very grateful for. Yeah, but I think it was going to get 500. So this actually isn't very far off of the goal amount that we had for it. But anyways, what I'm going to do now is add up all of this stuff and give us a total. But I always zoom you guys through this because, again, as I always say, nobody wants to sit here and watch me use a calculator. So here we go. Okay, so when I got my number initially, it scared me because I was like, wait, that's not what we planned for. But I didn't write it down properly on my other planning sheet. So it's fine. We're fine. I'm fine. So the total for this section is $6,896.10. And so then what we do, even though debt is a super duper high priority in our family, we do move over to sinking funds so that we can make sure that we are still able to like function and live our lives while we're paying down our debt. So that is what we do. So we go into that plan next. And so I will just start off with car expenses. And usually car expenses get $57 a month, but my husband was reimbursed for, oh my gosh, what's it called? Jury duty. And it was $14. So we just decided to roll that into car expenses because, it was like the use of our personal vehicle or whatever. So, so that's what we decided to do for this month. And so instead of the normal $57 that it's getting, it's going to be getting an additional 14. I forget what that is. 57, 14. No, I can't do fast math. $71. I know that dollar is going to drive some of you crazy, but we use every dollar. We use every dollar. So don't get mad. Anyways, next up is home maintenance. And this one is getting $50 this month. Medical is up next, and it's getting $75. Clothes is getting $50. Haircuts, we decided, because we have a pretty decent buffer in haircuts right now, and so we decided we're only going to give it $40 this month instead of $80 because we have enough in there for my daughter to get a haircut, and $40 between that and like what it costs for my husband, we have enough money to cover like his haircut for the month of March plus the tip and all that kind of stuff. So we will resume giving this the $80 we had been giving it once I start bringing in some pay, but for now this will do what we need it to do. His and hers is our personal spending money. My husband gets $50 a month and I'm getting and I always get $175, but this also covers my haircut, as well. That's why there's like a disparity in the numbers. And also I just get more money than my husband does every month. Anyway, that's just how we choose to do it in our house. The next few are not getting as much as they usually do. And these are the ones that we felt like could take a hit because of, they don't need money. They are not high priorities. So dine out, work food, dates, home decor, and family fun are all getting $10 each. So we didn't want to not stuff them. Well, I didn't want to not stuff them. My husband was ready to wipe them out completely, but I was like, we have the wiggle room to do this. Like, let's do it. Just so they get a little something. House project was one that when I was coming up with this plan was like, for sure on the chopping block, along with like dine out, work food, dates, home decor, that kind of stuff. But once I went over the entirety of everything, including like our debt payment and all of those sorts of things, we realized we had a little bit of wiggle room here to give house project. And so it's not getting as much. Like we were going to be giving it, we've been putting between $200 to $300 a month toward it with, me earning a paycheck. But then we were going to be giving it an additional $300. That is obviously not happening. But it is getting 269. Oh, 269. I will explain the weird number to you. We have a relatively whole number going into our debt up here. And so once I figured out the cost of everything else minus house project, it was like an odd number like this. And so we're just rolling with it. We do love our odd numbers here at the Simple Budget. So, and I think you've all kind of come to terms with it. If you're new to my channel, I do apologize, but I'm an odd number girly. So we just, wherever there's an extra dollar, we plug it in somewhere. Next up is gifts. And it's getting $40 this month. Partay is getting $50. This is like if we, like it will fund like our kids' birthday parties or us like hosting people. And so it's like something that, I mean, in a dire emergency, we are not funding most of this stuff over here. Well, car expenses, like the stuff at the top we are. Car expenses, home maintenance, medical, clothes, like there's nothing we can do about those. But like home decor, family fun, gifts, birthday parties, we are not funding that if somebody besides me, so my husband, loses his job. All right, Mr. Simple just walked in the door and disrupted everything. I don't remember what I was saying though. Oh, yeah, just that like birthday parties would be on the chopping block in the event of like a legitimate emergency. But you know, my son and daughter have birthdays, and so we are still planning, like giving it what we would give it if I hadn't lost my job, because, you know, I got one. So we're not as stressed about this. Back to school is up next, and it's getting $30 this month. And then our little holidays, Valentine's gets $5. Easter gets $7. Halloween gets $12. Thanksgiving gets $25. And then Christmas gets $275. So what I'm gonna do is add up everything from this section. You're so loud. Add up everything from this section, and then we'll get into the rest of this. All right, so the total from this section, is can you guys still see? Barely. $1,274. And so then what we do for my son, we haven't told anybody their names on the channel. I don't know if we ever will, but for now, they're just boy and girl, and we give them $25 a month in their little investment accounts. And let me tell you, this stuff adds up, guys. So if you have the wiggle room in your budget, highly recommend. We just have custodial accounts for them through Fidelity, and it's just like in a basic, like all-encompassing stock that kind of matches the S&P index. I don't know all the things. I don't really know about the stock market. Frankly, I find it all frightening, but this is a safe like index fund I think it's an index fund to be invested in. So anyways, so that's what we're doing. And then, excuse me. So what we do now, so we've got 13,000. We started with $13,006.56 minus $6,896.10 minus $1,274 minus 50. And that leaves us with, I might have added wrong. This is still relatively close to what we wanted to do, but it is not the number that I thought we had. Let me try this one more time. I'm gonna have to go back and math because we thought that we were gonna be giving this an even $4,846, but for now, I'll just put this $4,786.46. So originally our goal for the month of March was to put $5,000 toward our debt. Because we were essentially going to double what our goal is. Our goal is to put between $2,300 and $2,500 a month at it. That, of course, is when I was employed. But I was, or at least I thought when I originally planned all of this out, I thought I was going to be able to put $4,800 plus the 46 cents, which is the change left over from like my husband's pay. This is still relatively like we're $14 off, and I have to figure out like what happened, but by and large, we're still kind of close to our goal, even if, you know, I didn't like add in correctly or something. And we are always this aggressive with our magic months. We do use our magic month money to facilitate like making sure that we have grocery money to carry us into the following month. And then like last year, we put a lot of our magic month money toward Christmas, and vacation. And then, I'm trying to remember. I mean, and then of course, always debt, because it's such a high priority for us right now. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and do my math. But basically, this is what it looks like. I mean, we have planned every single dollar here. It's gonna function for us either in the immediate or the distant future. But it is so good to go back to what I said at the beginning. Like, it's so good to have a plan for all of your money, because if you do, every expense is going to have the money there waiting in order to facilitate it. So if you're not on this train, highly recommend that you get there. We've been able to do things with our money and our budget and our life that we just didn't anticipate being able to do, even while we're paying down our debt, because we have been so disciplined in planning our pay, knowing where the money is going, and creating an entire financial structure that, you know, actually gives us freedom. The discipline gives you freedom. There's no two ways about it. Being disciplined is what gives you freedom. And I cannot stress to you enough the importance of doing something like this. It's actually really fulfilling to manage your money. And then it also, at least if you're like me and you're a spendy person, because I'm still kind of a spendy person. I definitely spend more than my husband does, and I get more joy out of like expenses than my husband does. But it's made me more intentional about what I buy. I definitely think more before I'm making a purchase. I mean, I have to, because I actually live in my budget now. And it actually, that in and of itself is actually incredibly fulfilling, because I'm not just like buying junk. I don't have any buyer's remorse, and I enjoy the things that I'm purchasing now in a way that I never have before. So, just some encouragement if you're like me, if you're a spendy person like me, that this is actually an enjoyable process, even for those of us who like to be all just like swipey with our cards. I find this to be much more fulfilling and beneficial, even just from like a mental health standpoint, than buying something, not having a plan or the money for it, and then having guilt about what I purchased, or, you know, being caught up in an impulse purchase that I later regret and don't get use out of anyway. So anyways, wouldn't be a video without a Veda ramble and tangent. I'm going to zoom you guys back out and we will finish out the video. Alrighty, you guys. So that is going to do it for me for today's video for the March budget with me. I'm not going to update you guys. Hold on. It's me here. I'm going to update you guys like once I know my start date and all of that sort of stuff, but I'm not going to include any income that I bring in from this job in any of my other videos for this month. You'll just kind of like randomly see me like stuff cash into certain envelopes if I do, not if, I mean, I know I'm going to start in the month of March, and so I will earn some money in the month of March, but I'm not going to like do like an updated budget with me for the month of March. You'll just kind of like see the stuffing, and then you'll know, obviously, like the April budget with me will be reflective of my pay, and then it'll just be more like a normal budget as per usual. But I didn't want you thinking I didn't want you wondering basically at the end of this video whether or not I was going to like do an updated budget with me. We're just going to let the month of March ride out, and then we will get back into business as usual in April. Anyways, if you did enjoy today's video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. Just come say hi. Let me know how your budgeting is going. Are you staying on track? Were you new this year and you're maintaining it? If you have any questions, let me know. I do see them and answer them to the best of my ability. And especially if I can address them in a video too, that's always really helpful, because your question may be beneficial for a multitude of people, not just for yourself. So anyways, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and week, and I will be back with you on Friday for the weekly check-in. So if you want to know kind of how all of this works, what the nuts and bolts are from a day on a day-to-day basis, the weekly check-in is definitely a good one to check out, so that you can kind of see, how we make all of this work, like what it looks like when we actually make expenses and pull from the money that we budget for. So anyways, have a great day, everyone. I will see you on Friday. Bye.